Real YouTubists go so fast. They go so fast that they go so slow.
That was a really good one. And we also, you couldn't see, but oh wait, should I screen share? No, you could see. Oh my god.
Yeah.
My capture software started being really weird, and it will just it will think that I'm mousing over it, which normally forces it to behave in a weird way when I'm not doing that. Anyway, that's off topic. Anyway, what's up? I'm joined with Trey. Trey is a good friend of mine. He's also a Pokemon researcher and a competitive player. And he's going to be showing us a really cool... Would you call this a glitch or a mechanic? How would you describe this, Trey?
Well, initially, I think a lot of people would look at this and say it's a glitch, but when you look at it a little bit further, it really seems as if Pokemon set it up this way, that they really intended for it to behave in the way that it does. It's very unusual. You'll see that if this is a glitch, then this glitch applies very, very, very often in actual VGC battles.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. So we'll see that as we come along, but we'll be doing 2 battles today in order to showcase some very cool mechanics with speed. Have you ever gone so fast that you do not go so fast? I think, if I remember right, Wolf, you used to go really, really fast because you ran track and stuff. So have you ever ran so fast that you ran so slow before? Have you ever done that?
One time I was running cross country. I wasn't very fast, but I was running cross country. It was my first ever race in cross country, and I was running fast, and then my stomach got upset, and I threw up, and then I was slow.
Oh, no.
So, kind of, I guess. But I don't think, not in the same sense that we're talking about here today, I think. I think those are slightly different scenarios.
Yeah, if any of these Pokemon throw up today, I will be impressed.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, so do you want to go ahead and get connected, and then we can kind of just showcase what we're doing here, and then... Yeah.
Sounds good. Yep. Okay. I'll go ahead and start searching for double battle 001111111111.
2 zeros and the rest ones?
Yep.
I'm mashing.
I like that code.
I like the code. Is it like a binary? Does it mean anything in binary?
That is a good question. I have no idea.
Okay, I wasn't sure if maybe there's a reason behind that, the zeros and the ones. Why not 1 0 and then the rest ones, you know?
Nah. I just like that because it's easy to remember. All right. I will decide the rules.
Can't do VGC though, right? Because we have 2 A's.
No, yeah, we need for this setup. We could do the setup in VGC actually, but it's very, very specific. So it's just much easier to work with level 100 numbers.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh,
yeah, we actually don't.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I forgot that there's a mode where you can actually play at level 100.
Yeah, no restrictions. We don't have a species clause either, which will be kind of handy because we have 2 Eggies today.
Yeah. Eggy. Yeah, so we have... I don't know too much about the setup. Trey has sent me a document telling me what to do, and I'm just going to follow that. But, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be using the power of 2 Eggies today, as well as some other cool stuff, provided I didn't mess my setup up, to get ourselves to a very, very fast amount of speed. So the first thing that we'll do, you don't bring all your Pokemon here, Wolf.
I don't bring Slowpoke, right?
Yeah, you don't bring Slowpoke to this game.
Cool.
And I need to make sure that I lead these in the proper order, because I don't bring Haucha.
And guys, I'm seeing this for the first time, so I have a general idea of what's going to happen, but I've never seen this before, so it's new for me as well. I
also should note that this is actually, I only theory mod this. I didn't actually,
You didn't test it?
I did test the setup on Showdown, but, which should behave the same way, but I didn't actually test it on cart. So
cool.
Hopefully this works. If this doesn't work, I'll look really silly.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Start the battle. You have 4 Pokemon and I have 3. That's unfair.
That is
you have
unfair.
Too many Pokemon.
I wonder who's going to win. We're both going to win because we have fun.
Yeah. Yes. Mucho fun. Okay.
Okay.
So one thing that I should point out immediately, you'll see that Wolf's Alakazam is nicknamed 342 speed. Wolf, you can verify that in the summary screen it actually is 342 speed. A couple of the other Pokemon in the back, the Alolan Exeggutor and Torkoal, also have a speed stat listed. The reason we're doing it this way, technically we don't actually need speed swap for this, but I did that just so that way everybody can see here that is what the speed stat we're starting with is, because we're going to end up speed swapping onto my Pokemon. So. We're going to start off. You're going to go ahead and go for speed swap and skill swap. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use Beat Up on my Poltegeist. And so what Beat Up will do is it will hit 3 times because I brought 3 Pokemon to this game. And because Beat Up hits 3 times, Weak Armor will trigger 3 times, lowering its defense each time, but raising its speed by 2 stages. By doing this, I can very quickly max out on speed on my Poltegeist. It's just a quick way to get to +6 without having to spend 3 turns using agility or something of that nature.
Right.
After I do that, then I will immediately baton pass out. Because of how speed mechanics work this generation, once I gain my speed like that mid-turn, I gain it immediately. So I'm able to immediately pass out into Diglett. when is he going to come to WBE?
I don't know.
When is he coming?
When is he going to have a good matchup?
I don't know. But now we're giving a few more things to Diglett.
We Chlorophyll and I see.
Yeah, when we did speed swap. So we've used speed swap to give Diglett the 342 speed. So it's got that now. It's got +6 speed from the baton pass, and it's got chlorophyll. So now what you're going to do, Wolf, is you're going to go ahead and double switch. And I will go ahead and use Tailwind. Yeah, we'll just do this. So now we have Torkoal out. Torkoal will set the drought to help Diglett out, since now Diglett has chlorophyll. We want Diglett to be even faster-er. And then we send out Alolan Eggy. Eggy. So you can see that it frisked Diglett's Choice Scarf as well, so you can see that it is holding that item. So I'll be locked into my facade here, but I am even faster as a result. And so actually, we've already done all the setup we need, Wolf.
Okay, so it's +6 speed, Choice Scarf, Tailwind, Chlorophyll boosted.
Exactly. So this Pokemon is very, very fast. And so you'd expect it to move very fast, right? You expect it maybe to move first in the turn or something of that nature. Now, my Whimsicott does have Prankster, so it will move first. However, you'd expect Diglett to move right afterwards, right? That's what I would expect to happen. So let's say we see Whimsicott use Snore. Oh, wait a minute, Wolf. What happened?
That's very strange.
We used Dragon Hammer first, and then I go, and then Torkoal goes. Very, very interesting. So we see here that just for Sadistic Mystic Saint, since I know he's watching this battle, he wanted me to do this as part of the setup. That did 26 damage. And Wolf, can you show your Torkoal's attack stat? And you can also, you can prove that they're the appropriate speed stats as well. And my Diglett has 86 defense, just so you know. Okay. So anyway, we went very, very fast there, but for some reason, we went in between Alolan Eggy and Torkoal. So we went in between 17 and 15 speed. There's no speed ties going on here. This Diglett was moving as if it had 16 speed. So that's the first test that we want to show. And that's already kind of cool, Okay, you can go really, really fast, and then you can go really, really slow. Maybe if you saw our battle with Charizard and Snom, maybe you're thinking like, oh, it just does the overflow stuff. We just went too fast. Things like that. But there's another part of this that comes up, like I say, is very strange. So we're gonna go ahead and play with the same rules, and we'll choose the same team. But this time, we will lead with the Pokemon that we did not use. So you'll lead with Alolan Eggy and Slowpoke, and I'll lead with Hawlucha and Whimsicott. And that's all we need. We only need those 2 Pokemon.
Cool.
So I'll go ahead and I'll do that. And then we'll load into the battle. Now for this one, I do not have Speed Swap going to my side. My side will be the side that will be going very faster, or faster, slower. I don't know exactly.
Right, I'm a little confused myself on this, what the terminology is.
Yeah, we're going. Like I say, we're going too fast that we go too slow. So Hawlucha really is 227 speed. If you don't believe me, catch a 227 speed Hawlucha and do it yourself. So I'm going to go for Agility, and I'm going to go for a Tailwind.
And I Psychic Terrain Trigger him.
Yep, exactly. And so what we're going to be doing with this is we're going to be kind of doing a similar thing. We're going to be making Hawlucha relatively fast. You can notice here that Hawlucha, 227 speed really isn't that high. Like, there's obviously way faster Pokemon like that than that, like Ninjask or something like that. And we're not even going like the +6. So Slowpoke is setting Psychic Terrain. So that way Hawlucha will have its Psychic Seed triggered, Oh, did I give this Psychic Seed? Shoot, I didn't give this Psychic Seed, Wolf.
That's okay.
Okay, we'll have to redo that again.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's my bad. I knew I was forgetting something. Thankfully, it's only a one turn.
Yes, that's pretty easy.
Delay.
I forgot that Psychic Terrain was a move. Like, do they introduce terrains in Generation 6? I think they did.
No, I think they did, but we didn't have Psychic Terrain then, though.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't? Do we only
No, we only had those 3. Remember, Lele was
Oh.
the first time we got Psychic Terrain?
No, I mean, I never used any of the terrains, so I didn't even, like, care.
Yeah, I know.
I only
Well,
remember Grassy Terrain because of Go-Goat.
Yeah, because it had it. What is it? Grass pelt.
Yeah, double defense in Grassy Terrain. I wanted to make it work.
No, I don't even think it was doubled. I think it was just 1.5.
Oh, really? That's so bad. I'm looking it up.
So yeah, it's so sad. It's just like it really couldn't have been any better than that. All right, hopefully I better have a Psychic.
Oh, it's not even in the game. Poor Go-Goat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wolf took it out of the game. What's wrong with Go-Goat? Don't you remember like riding that around in X and Y, or what? Or did you ride down? Yeah, you rode around
X and Y.
Go-Goat.
Yeah.
In the one city, Lumios, was it? Is that right?
I think so. It was the stupid one. I hated it. It was like the really
the really big one.
Yeah,
where you had to
was
take a
awful.
taxi to get anywhere.
Yeah, that was so bad, by the way.
Yeah,
it was.
And then we
really
had
bad.
well, there was also the ranch where you could ride around the what's it called? Skiddo. Skiddo. I think you could ride. Couldn't you ride around Skiddo? I think you could.
I have no. I'm
ramp.
completely honest. I have no idea. Like,
I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Commenters, or excuse me, commenters, please comment to tell us where you could ride the Skiddo. Or if
You're
you
right.
could.
By the way,
pretty sure.
it's 1.5. It's so bad.
Yeah, like maybe if it's like grassy terrain and did that, then it would be useful.
Yeah, for sure. Then you like maybe it's at least a good ability at that point. But
Yeah. Still wouldn't be a good Pokemon. But yeah. Okay, now I have my Psychic Seed.
There
Yeah,
we go.
I probably could have known that at turn 0 if I had paid
I
attention.
also could have.
to risk, but I did not pay attention.
Cool.
Okay,
Take 2.
so yeah, all the commenters be like, you should have seen from Frisk. And they are right. Okay, so now we will go fast with Hawlucha, but not as fast as we were before. Before we were very fast, and now we're just pretty fast. So we will set our Psychic Terrain. Zzz, and now we will trigger the Psychic Seed. So the reason we wanted to give Hawlucha Psychic Seed is because Hawlucha has the ability Unburden. And Unburden works like if you lose your item, not if you just have no item, but if you have to explicitly lose your item, then you will move with twice as much speed as before. So now, Wolf, we're already set up the glitch. Go ahead and go for a Snore and Water Gun. And
this one is actually a glitch.
Yes. This part is an actual bit. So my Whimsicott will still move first because of Prankster. However, right now Slowpoke is 2 speed because it has, I think,
Iron Ball.
4? Yeah, it has 4 natural speed and then Iron Ball. So it runs at only 2 speed right now. So you can get it slower than that if you wanted to, but 2 is pretty. I mean, you can't get that. You can't get that much slower than that. Oh, or maybe not. I jump kick.
Eggy!
Take out Eggy. Eggy has been defeated. So, despite Hawlucha being so fast, it was actually so slow. And yeah, now it has KO'd Eggy. And for the heck of it, I am going to go ahead and KO Slowpoke as well.
I hit run. I'm sorry. I couldn't.
Oh, you hit run?
Anymore.
No, I can't take my win. Denying me my victory. Well, I guess I still get the win screen, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
Aww.
But anyway, so that was kind of cool, right? So why did any of that happen? That might be a question that some of you are asking, or maybe none of you are asking.
I'm asking it.
But I've prepared a couple graphics to show that might help explain the situation. So Wolf, let me know when you've got those up. And
Yep, they're up now.
Okay. So the first one that we're looking at, it should say we should have like a Shuckle and a Ninjask on there. So there are 2 separate steps when determining turn order, or sort of, I should say. At one part, we're calculating the speed. At another part, we're calculating the turn order. Now, in most cases, these are really pretty much the same thing. Usually, you're not going to see much of a difference between these 2 things. That's not going to come up. Calculating speed, the only real difference that you'll see in there is usually for Gyro Ball and Electro Ball. So Gyro Ball and Electro Ball stop at the calculating speed part, but when you get to calculating turn order, then it's a little bit different. So they're technically not the same, but they're usually really close for most people's, for what most people care about. So there's a specific order that you start off with. First, you apply the Pokemon. You start with Pokemon's raw speed stat. That includes things like speed swap.
Okay.
If you next you would apply +6 or -6 stat change. So you do the multiplier there, and you'd round down. The next thing you do is you combine every other speed modifier that's out there, except paralysis. You multiply that, and then you round. And if there is a rounding thing in there, then you would round normally, except you round down on 0.5. It's kind of weird. It doesn't come up in our case.
Okay.
In our case, our numbers are really nice and even. But these are the list of the speed effects that I think are still in the game. There's also like slow start from last generation, which in theory would come up in here, but technically you can't test that, so things like that. Actually, I don't even know quick feats in the game. I couldn't tell you.
I'm pretty sure Ursaring gets it, and I'm pretty sure Ursaring gets the game. No, Jolteon gets it. What am I saying?
Jolteon gets it. Yeah, I was going to say Jolteon. Yeah. Jolteon can use it. Yep. After you apply that, then you do paralysis, and you round down again. And finally, the last step that you do is kind of a weird one. If the Pokemon speed is higher than 10,000, you make it 10,000.
Okay.
And this is just kind of an arbitrary number, so far as we know. This does not have any significance in computing. So far as I know, this is just picked out of the blue. And then next, what you do for calculating turn order is you take that Pokemon speed, and if it's 8,192 or higher, you subtract 8,192. After that, you sort the Pokemon speed, and so then like, okay, this Pokemon goes first, and then second, and things like that. Unlike last generation, when you calculate turn order, you calculate after each Pokemon's action, rather than before each turn. But that's not so relevant anymore for what we're looking at anyway in our setup. So if you go to the second slide with Diglett and Alakazam, you can kind of see what happened.
Wait,
so
I have a question. Why step 6? Why if the Pokemon speed is greater than 8192, why do you do that? Like, why subtract that? Is that computing?
That's a good question as well. That is a computing question. When it does a comparison, it restricts it to a certain amount of memory, but it also seems like pretty arbitrarily defined, in my opinion. Like, I don't really know why they use in this case it'd be 13 bits, but I really don't know why it happens to be 8,192, especially since they've got the 10,000 from earlier.
Right.
I'm not particularly sure why, because the 10,000 is for sure something that Game Freak just picked out of their. They just picked it up, not random, but it's just a number they made up. If you move on to the side with Diglett and Alakazam, you can see basically what happened. We gave Alakazam's 342 speed stat to Diglett, and so we're starting with that 342. Diglett's speed, whatever it was, doesn't really matter. We could have actually used any Pokemon. There's nothing special here about Diglett, but I just wanted to use Diglett so it got some time on the Wolf YouTubeist channel.
Right.
After we start with the 342 speed, we have plus 6 speed, and so that's times 4. And that will give you like a really high, like 1368. Choice Scarf, Chlorophyll, and Tailwind are all applied, which is 2, 2, and 1.5. And so you hit a really high number of 8,2. Wait, there's no paralysis. It's not higher than 10,000, but we are higher than that 8,192 from before. So you subtract that, and you get down to 16 speed. And so that's why it was moving in between the Alolan Exeggutor and the Torkoal, because it was going like 17, 16, 15. However, the second case is kind of strange. When we're calculating Trick Room, we actually add another step, and you'll see this with that arrow next to it. So you hopefully y'all can see that. And everything works the exact same, but there's one difference. Instead of Trick Room applying, say, in the third step there with sorting the Pokemon's speed, you think it might do that. You think it might, like switch the order that the speeds are switched. It doesn't do that. What it actually does is it does 10,000 minus speed. And so this is actually a clever trick in order to sort things. It means from Game Freak's perspective, they are able to basically use the same sorting algorithm or whatever they use for it. I think it's insertion sort for the nerds out there, if I remember right. But if I recall correctly, this 10,000 minus speed is more or less basically just a tricky way of doing it. Normally, this would work just fine. Like, say you had a Pokemon with 100 speed and a Pokemon with 200 speed. So if you do 10,000 minus 100, that's 9,900, and then you do 10,000 minus 200, and that's 9,800. Well, now 9,900 is bigger than 9,800, so that Pokemon moves first. So it's kind of weird, and it's very bizarre. And remember that this turn order bit is completely separate from calculating speed. So it's not as if when you use Gyro Ball, you're using Gyro Ball into a Pokemon with like 9,000 speed or something like that. No, their gyro ball is using the Pokemon's actual speed stat, but for the turn order, it's a little bit weird.
Right.
So what ended up happening, actually, with Hawlucha's case versus Slowpoke,
you were just under enough to be 8192, right?
Yeah, exactly. Pretty well. We're close. We actually, so we start off with Hawlucha's 227 speed, and we get pretty fast, but we don't actually get super fast.
Right.
After +2 speed, we're at 454. We get Unburdened Tailwind, so we're up to 1816. And so we're not higher than 10,000 at this point, so we don't have to worry about that. So 10,000 minus 1816 is 8184. And what's notable about that is that that doesn't subtract 8,192. But if you look at Slowpoke's case, and for most cases, almost all regular cases, we start off with Slowpoke's 4 speed, divide that by 2 for Iron Ball, effectively. 2 speed. It's not higher than 10,000. You do 10,000 minus 2 equals 9998, but then we have to subtract that 8192 again.
Because we're higher than 8192.
Exactly. So it ends up being a comparison between Hawlucha with some like ridiculous speed, like 8,000 something, and Slowpoke's 1806, so Hawlucha moves first. And so that's why I said before, if this is a glitch, then this glitch applies pretty well anytime you use Trick Room. Because unless your Pokemon has higher than 1,809 speed, you will always be going through this minus 8192 step. You'll pretty well always be doing that. It always happens. And so it's really bizarre why they end up doing it that way. I'm not sure if that's what Game Freak intended, if this is just something that happens to be the case, like as an like it's just a result of how the behavior works. But that is what happens, and that's how these speeds are calculated. So Hawlucha shoots up really, really high, whereas Slowpoke ends up is also really high, but then it ends up having to basically subtract 8,000 from it. And that makes it move really, really... well, the normal cases, that would be just fine, but in this case, it doesn't work out so well. So it's very interesting. Like I say, I'm not entirely sure why Game Freak does it in this particular way. Like, for example, if they chose a number bigger than 10,000, and they chose a cutoff point bigger than 8192, then this would be not achievable. The highest stat that you can reach speed-wise is like speed swapped Ninjask into a Ditto with like Quick Powder and Tailwind and like Chlorophyll and stuff, which is like really hard to pull off in a real game. I think you hit like 11,000 something. It's not even. Can you do it with does a burden help? A burden would be exactly the same help as something like Chlorophyll.
Sorry. I forgot you said Chlorophyll.
Yeah, it'd be 2 times ability either way. There's no other way to get faster than that. No, that's a good point though. Yeah, I think the fastest that you can, I'm pretty sure the fastest you can get is a Ditto at +6 speed, speed swapped a Ninjask speed stat. If you had Deoxys speed, it'd be slightly faster, but we don't have that right now. And then a 2-time speed ability like Unburden or Chlorophyll or Electric. What's the one that Raichu uses?
Surfer.
Surge Surfer.
Yeah. I didn't know. I'm really glad you knew.
Yeah, that's right. And then Tailwind, and usually that's about as fast as you can go. So, so it's not even that much higher than 10,000. So it, like I say, it's just kind of a little bit strange that they happen to choose those particular numbers, but that's how it works. And it's very, very hard to use this in VGC, but you can hit this for Trick Room. If you used a Ninjask with like +4 speed, or excuse me, with +6 speed, and have Choice Scarf, I believe you can underspeed. I think. Oh, and in Tailwind, I think you need all of those, and then you can pull off this Trick Room glitch in VGC. But otherwise, it's so hard because like VGC just having lower stats at level 50 means it's never going to come up. But for these niche level 100 cases, you can pull off these very strange speed calculations.
That's super funny.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's pretty much all with regards to speed on how that works.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for taking the time and showing us. I think it's really cool. I think these glitches are like there's something that I would never know about, so I think it's cool to showcase here for everybody. Is there anything you want to say before we kind of wrap up here? Did we cover everything you wanted to cover?
No, I think we got everything that we wanted to with speed.
Cool. Well, yeah, thank you so much for being on the channel and for showing us this cool stuff and for doing all the setup. As everyone watching can see, like, it requires a good bit of prep to set up. So we really appreciate you taking the time to do that. And yeah, if you want to see more of this kind of thing on the channel, let me know in the comments. Trey, you're gonna leave if you leave like links down below for people can check you out. I'll pin that.
I'll do so.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks very much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Peace.